Welcome to my presentation on management control systems. I assume that you and your managers want to run a sustainably successful company. Hidden champions are global market leaders in their segment. They are relatively unknown, medium-sized, and pretty profitable. Studying the history of such companies reveals that they always try to align short-term success and long-term viability in their planning and control. To do that, they rely on management control systems. In this presentation, I describe what management control is and what kind of management control system you need to enable sustainably successful decisions. Starting point are the aspects of decision making. Judges and historians decide on the basis of what has happened. But managers of all levels always must decide for the future, for today, for tomorrow, and for the distant future. When deciding, they follow the management cycle. Their employees must know which results, number one, are expected from them and when. If these results do not materialize, number three, managers must again decide which corrective actions, number five, will make it possible to achieve the original objectives despite the variances that occurred in reality. Because the future is unpredictable, all data underlying a managerial decision are uncertain. Thus, the decisions are also taken on the basis of personal assumptions, beliefs, and judgments. Therefore, all managers, from the foreman to the CEO, need an information system that helps them realize their strategic ideas. This system must make it possible to assess opportunities and threats emerging from the different environments of the organization so that plans can be developed. The information system must as well present the achieved results and compare them with the planned values so that it becomes clear where corrective action is needed to ensure that the objectives are achieved despite any disruptions. A management control system has three main parts: early warning, piloting, and management accounting. Early warning information, number one, is generated by observing and assessing developments in the various sub-environments of your company. The findings from this analysis are crucial for fixing strategies. Some examples. New production methods or new raw materials may lead to new products or applications. In which markets could your company successfully place new offerings? Work-life balance, both parents working or higher disposable income, lead to a shift in demand towards other products and services. In which areas could your company be affected? Online shopping is increasingly displacing sales in local stores. How are you preparing for this? Your early warning system should therefore record such developments so that they can be incorporated into strategy development. Inside your company, it must be ensured that the success potentials for realizing the strategic targets are built up so that the personnel, the facilities, and the processes are in place on time to realize the strategies. This requires internal piloting information, number two. Piloting information is needed for operational medium-term planning and has to show whether the needed capabilities and capacities will be available on time. Again, some examples. Will you have enough management staff to handle the further development and growth of your organization? Which personnel and machine capacities do you have to build up or rebuild for strategy realization? Which are the training and development needs of your existing staff? Which education and experience do new hires need to have? While early warning information is to be obtained from external sources, piloting information originates internally, mainly from personnel data, process descriptions, and capacities of plants and machines. For the operational planning and control of the next year, the focus is on management accounting, number 3. It must plan and record activities, quantities, and times so that they can be used in decision making. From the management cycle, you can deduce that management accounting must be able to show all data in 4 value types. These are plan, target, actual, and variance. Additionally, the system must be able to link these data with forecast estimates. If management accounting is to provide real management support, it has to be designed completely decision relevant. Since all managers are responsible for the results they achieve in their unit, they rightly demand that management accounting only depicts figures and values that they can directly influence themselves in their command area and thus can be responsible for. This leads us to 10 rules for decision-relevant management accounting. To be relevant for decision-making, the management accounting system must be designed according to these 10 principles. 1. When planning next year, standards have to be fixed for purchase prices, standard quantities in the bills of material, standard times in the work plans, because standards are the yardstick against which actual consumption is compared. 2. Cost splitting into proportional and fixed costs is necessary because proportional costs are driven by the customers, by their orders, and by the structure of the product. Fixed costs are always the consequence of managerial decisions, mainly capacities, staffing, and infrastructure. 3. Every manager rightly expects from management accounting that he is only charged costs which he can directly influence and therefore also be responsible for. This means that your account coding must be designed in such a way that all documents are assigned exactly to the place where they were created. 4. There is no direct causal relationship between produced and sold quantities and fixed. The latter are always the consequence of managerial decisions. As a consequence, a decision-relevant management accounting system may never allocate fixed costs from one cost center to another or even to products. 5. Fixed costs are period costs. They are to be charged to the fiscal year and consequently are not to be allocated to the product costs and not to be included in the value of inventories in a helpful management accounting system. 6. Sales deductions of all kinds eat away an increasing part of net sales. Therefore, they should be disclosed in detail in contribution accounting so that they can be controlled. 7. Contribution margin 1 is internationally defined as net sales minus proportional standard costs. It shows how much a particular sales contributes to covering all planned structural costs, all variances, and the profit. 8. As the processes generating products and services can change from year to year, in management accounting, last year's ending inventory has got to be recalculated with the planned proportional costs of the planned year in order to show fair comparisons between planned and actual results. 9. To assess how much profit has been generated in a period, imputed depreciation has to be deducted. The respective amount should be calculated from the replacement value of the assets. This is because managers must also work on the basis of the going concern principle if they want to preserve the value of the company in the long term. 10. If a cost center manager or a sales manager is to assume his responsibility for the achieved results, it must be ensured that the reports prepared for them only show quantities and values that the respective manager can directly influence himself and thus also be responsible for. The implementation of these 10 rules is achieved by designing management accounting as a resource consumption accounting system, RCA. The world's leading institute for management accountants, IMA, strongly recommends the implementation of RCA because it is the most decision-relevant management accounting system available. In our view, the main reason for this recommendation lies in the splitting of costs into their proportional and fixed parts. RCA adopts the rules of the German Grenzplankostenrechnung (GPK), which was first published by Hans-Georg Plaut in 1953, and of contribution margin accounting, which became famous in the 1970s. These management accounting tools are successfully applied in many world-renowned companies. If you, as controller or a manager, want to enable your organization to achieve sustainable and successful leadership, build a management control system that supports all your managers in decision-making and in responsibility-taking. To do this, you need 1. The decision and responsibility-oriented design of your cost, activity, revenue, and profit accounting, that's management accounting. 2. Piloting information about your internal capabilities and capacities so that your managers can build up the future success potentials of your company and can improve efficiency in the medium term. And 3. Early warning indicators which show whether your existing and new offerings will continue to benefit your customers more than competing offerings in the future. The purpose of this presentation was to show you why a management control system has 3 main elements and where they help to improve decision making for the short and for the long range in your organization. In our book, Management Control with Integrated Planning, you will find detailed descriptions and a practical implementation guide. The book includes a downloadable comprehensive simulation model that allows you to understand in detail how resource consumption accounting works. In our blog, we present every 2 weeks a new post on the topic of management control. See the address. Thank you very much for your participation and have a nice day.